Popcorn and Daily Alpizar.
Hi, my name is Daily Alpizar. I really like that people call me Day. I'm from Costa Rica and I'm trying to figure it out where I'm going to apply because I don't know, but definitely Berea College is the top number one in my list. And Popcorn, Marlene Alba.
Hi, I'm Marlene. I'm from Mexico. And I'll be applying to about 8 universities, so I won't tell all of the names. But yeah, I am still not sure which I would choose in case I got accepted into many. And Popcorn, and I pass it to Andy Navarro.
Great. Hi, my name is Sandy. I'm also from Costa Rica. And well, exactly the same. I'll be applying to some universities. My top one is MIT. And yeah, I'm still not sure about the rest. And I think I am the last one.
You are correct, Andy. Thank you so much for sharing. So they, Marlene and Andy, right? That's how you like to be called? Yeah, cool. Thank you for being here with us today. So this is the scenario that is prepared for this breakout room. So we have a hypothetical school called ABC College, which is a small private liberal arts college based 25 minutes away from Washington, D.C., right? So a big city in the US. And this school promotes hands-on learning. ABC College allows students to choose their own major and essentially build their own plan for study. And in order to combine interdisciplinary interest, ABC College encourages their students to be politically aware, taking advantage of the proximity to Washington, D.C. in order to advocate for the rights of all individuals. So no matter gender, race, sexuality, or religion. So very focused on social justice. ABC College is one of the few liberal arts schools that offer an engineering program, which this student is interested in. So this hypothetical student. ABC College has a small, close-knit community with roughly 4,000 undergraduate students. So that's pretty small for some of the sizes of schools in the US. So that means you probably, for example, would find your professors would know your name, your professors would notice if you don't go to class, whereas in a big university, they won't know your name or they won't necessarily notice if you don't go to class, all right? So what's next? What are we gonna do? We'll watch a couple videos that are examples for the process, the interview process. After watching each video, we're gonna talk a little bit about what you thought. What are some of the things that stand out that you noticed that worked or didn't work? All right, do you have any questions? No? Cool, let's start with the first one. Let me make sure I am sharing my sound. So give me a second. Give me just a second.
I hope you enjoy all me and Jenny's acting skills.
Go get an Oscar. Okay, I just activated the sound. Let's go. Ooh. There we go.
Hi there, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. My name is Jenny, and I am an admissions officer from ABC College. It's so good to meet you. I'm just curious.
It's so great to meet you.
Wonderful. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself, maybe kind of a little bit about your family, and also what you're interested in studying and maybe interested in doing outside of school?
Yeah, of course. So I'm 18 years old and I have 4 older brothers. My parents are married, and my dad is an accountant, and my mom is a stay-at-home mom. And my older brothers are studying and working. I also like to spend a lot of time with my grandparents. When I'm not at school, I'm dancing, I'm singing, I play sports, I do volunteering. I also like to read. I love to watch Netflix on the weekends. Here in Costa Rica, if you're 18, you can go to the bars. So sometimes I go to the bars with my friends. What else? I've participated in science fairs a few times as well. And
Is there
what else?
anything most specifically that you really love doing outside of your classwork?
I really love helping people. So I like to look up ways on the internet that I could help people. And so sometimes I try and see if there's any programs I could join, or if I could do free online tutoring, but always so that I can help people.
It's great. I think that especially at ABC we have such an emphasis on.
Ya, estoy en entrevista. Estoy en entrevista.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It was
Don't
my
worry,
first one
no.
with my older brothers. He didn't realize I was in an interview.
No, it's okay. It's okay. We're all, this Zoom world is just kind of crazy. Don't worry about it. Understandable. I'm curious to know kind of what interested you in ABC, because we do have that, emphasis on helping people. We're right next to DC, so that public service is really important to us, but kind of what drew you to apply?
Well, I just think the location is awesome. I know that there's lots to do in Washington, D.C., and monuments and museums, and different activities. And I've seen the TV shows about the famous cupcakes in Washington, D.C. So I'm really excited about the location. I love Washington, D.C. I went once with my parents. So yeah, I just really think it would be great to be so close to Washington, D.C.
Yeah. I think a lot of students at ABC, they'll go into DC, but a lot of them are spending time on campus because you're in classes and you're doing work there, or you're volunteering there, you're doing kind of activities on campus. Academics wise, have you been able to check out any of the programs? Is there anything you've been most interested in? What you're thinking about for?
Yes. So I think I really wanted to major in engineering, but I'm also considering a minor in, women and gender studies, but I also really like art. So I was thinking about the creative writing minor as well. I just have a lot of interests. So I just kind of think that the curriculum offers me a lot of different options, but for now, I think I want engineering.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds
Cool. All right. So what do we think? Let's start. Anybody, what do you think about how she answered the questions? Let's start with that. Yeah, they.
Well, at the beginning, Margaret was seeing a lot of different places. Her eyes were not focused on the interviewer. So I think starting from that, she started pretty bad.
Mm-hmm. So body language and kind of containing herself. Okay, cool. What about anything else y'all notice? Madeleine.
Well, especially when she was answering the first question, it seemed more like a list instead of a response to a question. And it's also something that the admissions officer could have seen already on the student's application. So I don't think it was necessary to say that.
Yeah, it was almost like she was reading off of her resume, right? Just listing instead of maybe choosing a few quality activities and kind of diving into those. Andy, you were going to say something too, right?
Yeah. Okay, so what I wanted to say is that I thought she didn't answer completely the questions. For example, the first one was tell me about yourself. And Margaret started oh, I like to spend time with my grandparent. I have to she was talking about her family, but not entirely about herself, what are her interests and things like that. And also this kind of listing and not going into depth. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. So kind of like brushing all over the place, kind of like her body language. It was all kind of tied in, like very quickly looking everywhere and being kind of angsty, you know? So what do you think about the length of the answers? Did anybody has a review of the length? They were pretty long.
I remember.
Mhm,
Well, I
yeah.
think one question was specifically too long. Just because like the admissions officer was trying to ask another question and
Yeah.
he wouldn't.
Mhm. Yeah, it was almost like the interviewer had to interrupt her a few times, right? And so when we talk about body language and we look at the overall vibe of the student, so what are some of the things you think she could have done differently? So body language, maybe doing like a meditation beforehand to be a little bit calmer. But what else can you think she could have done differently? Appearance.
I think she was really relaxed, but that was bad for in her case because that overconfidence stopped her to focus on what was really important, like dive in her personality. And also I noticed that she didn't do her research about the university. So for me, like going to an interview without knowing anything, like specifically, is like having a lot of confidence,
Yeah. So doing a bit more
but in a bad
research.
way, right?
So doing a bit more research and not being cocky, not being overconfident in the wrong way. Tell me, Andy, what do you think?
Okay. I just wanted to talk about the background, like in Zoom. Uh, that background was like
Psychedelic
really,
background.
yeah. And I think like the interview is not like it must be kind of formal. So you should have like a solid background or something like that. And also like be in a quiet place, like when the brother, I think so, got into the meeting, like kind of controlling that or like saying to the family, okay, I'll be in an interview or something like this.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you all have interviews, you make sure you let your family know it's an important event. Like a dog barking, that's okay. You can't explain that to the dog, but you can explain that to the humans living with you, right? But yeah, very good points. Excellent. What about you, Marlene? Anything you noticed?
Well, I think that was it.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
think of it.
I agree. So remember being in the role, so making sure that you wear like proper apparel, so like a nice shirt probably that makes you feel comfortable. One thing that I received as a recommendation was always dress fully. So like don't wear shorts or in like a nice button down shirt. You should wear fully clothed appropriate apparel in case you have to stand up in an emergency or something, right? So make sure that you dress properly from head to toe. And also remember that you need to take advantage of this opportunity. So like get the juice out of this experience of one-on-one interaction with the person who is going to give feedback on you. So making sure that you do your research is very important as well. All right. So we're gonna skip the last one. I think in a matter of time, we're gonna move to the next video because I think this is gonna give us a bit more information to talk about. So give me a second here. I'll move this. There we go. Give me a second. This is not letting me play it. Okay, now give me a second. It's not letting me play the sound. So I'm gonna open it. Okay, I think the second video may have some technical difficulty. So give me just a second. I'm trying to figure out if it's my computer or if it's the video that has no sound. Mariana, could you check if you have sound on that video?
Sorry, I was going to tell you if you want me to share it. What I did is I downloaded it from
Yeah, let's do that because I can't. I opened it in the drive and it won't play sound either.
Okay, give me a moment. Can you see it? I think. Can you see it?
No, not yet.
I don't know what I did.
No, I see it. Do you all see it? Yeah? Yeah,
Yep.
we see it.
Okay.
Hi there.
Hi. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. I'm excited to get to speak with you today a little bit about ABC. I mentioned this in my email before, but I am an admissions officer from ABC. And so I love getting to meet with students who have applied and are kind of wrapping up their final touches on the application to the
Yes,
college.
it's so nice to meet you, to be able to ask you some questions too.
Perfect. So I'm open to any questions that you might have. So feel free at any point in time. We'll also save some time at the end for those, but if anything comes up, please feel free to ask those. I guess my first question to you is, if you just tell me a little bit about yourself, your interests, why you applied, what you might be thinking about studying if you were to attend ABC.
Sure. So my name is Margaret, but everyone calls me Mo, and I'm the youngest of 4 children. I really like math and science, so I've been doing research about what type of career would be able to kind of encompass both of my interests. And I think that I would really like to study engineering, which is great because I've always been drawn to like the small private liberal arts type of colleges because I do better on a close-knit community atmosphere. And sometimes larger universities, I think that I may get lost. But oftentimes I ran into the issue that a lot of private liberal arts don't offer engineering. And so when I saw that ABC College offered engineering and I read more about the plan, I got really excited. In my free time, I also really like to kind of read up on what's happening in the city or I'm a feminist, so I really like to go to like feminist marches and kind of be politically active and that type of thing, which is another thing I think that ABC offers me, being so close to Washington, D.C. is I think I'll have lots of opportunities to kind of explore those interests of mine.
Definitely. And apologies. I hope you can hear me all right. I think the internet might be a little unstable, but I think I got most of your response, but that's fantastic. Okay. I think we offer kind of the best of both worlds, that hands-on engineering, but also in that liberal arts context where you are learning about problems in the world and being able to apply what you're learning in the machine shop, the workshops, those engineering courses kind of to solving or trying to solve those problems.
Jenny, I think it's because it's raining really hard in Costa Rica in the wintertime. We get like very heavy rains. So if it's okay with you, maybe I could turn my camera off to see if the audio gets better. And then I can turn it back on in a few minutes to see if things are better. Is that okay?
That's totally fine. Yes, no worries at all.
Okay. Perfect. Okay.
I know the Zoom world is always so complicated, but zero issues at all. I hope that your internet holds throughout all of this. And if not, we can always reschedule. I guess I'm also curious, you mentioned kind of going out into DC and being involved in your community now in protests and marches. And what else are you involved in kind of outside of your high school classes? How do you spend your days when you're not in school?
So I also really like the opportunities that teaching and tutoring gives you. I've always had kind of a love for that, of helping others understand concepts that they don't necessarily get. So I've been helping with free tutoring sessions in underrepresented areas that are close to my high school to try and help students be able to take high level classes like pre-calculus or calculus, because sometimes they unfortunately don't have the economic resources to pay for the preparation. And so it's also been something that's kind of been fueling my passion, is to see how I can take my talents and interests in math and science to help others as well, who are looking to better themselves.
Perfect.
I think my internet might be a little bit better now. So can you see me?
Yes, no, wonderful. No, it sounds perfectly clear. I hope it holds. That's great.
Thank you.
All right. So what do y'all think? Let's see. Let me share the questions. We have our actress right here.
Hello, what video are you watching now?
The second one, the one with the internet issues.
Oh, better.
Let's
Did better there.
what do you think? Do you think that she fully answered the questions? Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna talk about this one. I think that she basically improved so much from the last one. And in this one, she demonstrates doing research about it. Like every of like all her responses are associated with what ABC College offers. So I think she does answer these questions fully.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else want to add something on maybe the general way she answered, the content, perhaps the length? Yeah, she was good, you know, not too long, not too short. What do you think about the overall vibe of this example? You know, having the technical difficulties and all of that. How do you think she managed all of this as a student?
Clearly, she didn't freak out, and that's a pretty good point from her. And I think her vibe was natural, so I really like that. Like, she didn't seem nervous or something.
Mm-hmm. She had a pretty neutral background, you know, the black background. And she seemed pretty calm, right? She offered a solution to an issue that was presenting. And I think this is something that can happen to all of us. Perhaps it hasn't happened to you yet, or perhaps it happens often that you have some kind of technical difficulty. And I think that's natural, and that's something that we all kind of are used to by now. And we're all human, so being upfront about it can be really useful and just keep you calm. I also think a recommendation could be that if you share the internet with more people at home, say you all are working from home, studying from home, maybe you can ask people not to, you know, do something with video or use too much of the bandwidth of your house, so that you have a more, you have a better connection in the end, because it has a limit, right? The speed of our home internet, all right? And let's see, what do you think? I think what I wanted to emphasize from this example is that she was pretty head on with the examples from her life that applied to that school. So her experience in volunteering, in tutoring, in understanding that she wants to do engineering and also wants a close-knit community. So she kind of knew the personality of the school and how it matches with her personality and what she is looking for. And I think that's what we need to remember, that it's not about the general aspects of where the school is placed. It's about the specifics of that school that resonate with us. And you cannot fake that. So we have to be pretty honest with ourselves and with the people we're interacting with. Okay, so let's look at the next video. Mariana, please help me because my Chrome is not working with sound. So we'll look at this last one because we have only like 5 minutes left. Do I have to stop sharing?
No, I don't know if you can see it. Can you see the
No,
video?
Yeah, there we go.
Hi there, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm great. Thanks for chatting with me today. I'm so excited to get to know you a little bit better. I'm an alum from ABC, and so I have read your short email bio. It was great to virtually meet you in that space, and like now also.
Yes, it's great to meet you as well.
Awesome. I guess my first question is, how did you find out about ABC? I know everybody has different pathways to learning about different universities out there, and just curious to know, how did you find out about it and what drew you to applying?
So from a very young age, I always knew that I would want to study in the United States for college, especially coming from another country. I see a lot of different opportunities presented for me studying abroad. And so I also recognize that I would do better in a close-knit community and that I might get lost at a larger institution. So I watched a webinar that Education USA offered about liberal arts colleges, and I kind of better understood what a liberal arts college is. And so I started to look for liberal arts colleges around the United States. But I personally would like to study engineering, which sometimes is not always offered at liberal arts colleges. And so then I kind of refined my search to liberal arts colleges with engineering, and I came across ABC College on a list of schools, looked it up, and participated in a few webinars. Specifically, there was a student panel one, and I just was really drawn to how passionate the students are. You can tell they clearly love the institution. So I started to look more on your YouTube channel, on your website, and kind of followed the different social media sites to learn more and more about the institution. And the more I saw, the more I fell in love.
That's wonderful. No, I'm so excited to hear that. Yeah, there's so much information out there, and it sounds like you took advantage of all of the kind of resources at your disposal. So that's fantastic. I'm wondering, what do you think, if you were to attend ABC or whatever university you end up going to, what do you think you might contribute to the community?
So I'm a very outgoing person, and I'm the type of student that likes to bring people together, both for social and academic purposes. So I think that I would be able to bring an international perspective to the institution and try and bring my classmates and even professors, if they're interested, together for academic endeavors or personal endeavors or social justice, being so close to Washington, D.C. So I think I'll be able to contribute and kind of always being part of the conversation about what's going on campus, what's going on outside of campus, what can we do to help those that are underrepresented or maybe not have the resources to fight for themselves. And then I also really like to see how we can apply things in real life situations. So in the engineering aspect, I think that in engineering courses, I'll be able to give that perspective of how can we apply this in other countries where we might not have as many resources? How can we make this applicable to a real life, everyday problem?
That's fantastic. Yes, we're always looking for kind of students who can connect others and then also can connect with the work that they're doing to maybe the outside and broader context. And I think kind of ABC offers the best of kind of both worlds in that, in the hands-on learning and then also kind of in that social justice mindset as well. I'm wondering, are there any clubs or organizations that you've learned about at ABC that might interest you most?
Yes. So I'm definitely a very big advocate for female rights, right? I'm a feminist. And so I'm really interested in joining the organization called Women for Change and bringing that international female perspective into that as well. And then I also was hoping to potentially create my own student org. I like to do free tutoring for math and science in underrepresented like high schools in the area or schools for students that don't have the economic resources to pay for private tutoring, but they want to get better. And so I was kind of hoping to do something similar to partner with local public schools in the Washington, D.C. area that have the kind of same idea to be able to promote STEM and STEM degrees.
Awesome. That's wonderful to hear about. And at places like ABC, right, you can create your own clubs and organizations, and we make that very easy. And it sounds like you've done that research and you've learned about that. I guess my last.
I have a question for you as an alum. I'm sorry for interrupting. As someone who went to ABC College, I guess I wanted to ask you, like, what were some of your favorite courses that you took while you were there, and how the interdisciplinary aspects kind of contributed to your overall growth?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. So I studied political science when I was at ABC. So a little bit different than maybe your interest, but somewhat aligned because of the DC, the social justice aspects of the institution. And one of my kind of favorite courses, which I took my senior year, was called Veterans' Rights, or America's Wars and Those Who Fought Them, which was all about veterans in the United States and their rights, and how we treat kind of veterans of service. And that just gave me a broader understanding of a population that I didn't really know about. So it combined, a little bit of sociology, a little bit of anthropology, also social justice, and history and political science too, all into one. And I got to do research about an alum from ABC who died in a war called the Vietnam War that the United States fought in for a number of years, and got to kind of learn about this person and the impact that they had when they were a student at ABC, and then also kind of apply that to my own learning in the class.
That's awesome. And I'm sure being close to Washington, D.C. allowed you to go, and if you need to go to a museum or some kind of like monument, you were right there.
Exactly. It's one of those kind of really hard parts of U.S. history, but also so important to learn about that, especially if you want to. And so many students at ABC, as I know, are interested in kind of doing good in the world and kind of impacting and leaving a positive change. And so learning about kind of those blemishes are also really important things. Right. And my question to you was actually if you had any questions for me. So that was fantastic. So thank you for.
Yes. Well, thank you for taking the time today and for giving me that insight on ABC College. Do you mind if I have any more questions about ABC if I follow up in an email?
That would be fantastic. Yes, feel free to email me at any point in time. I also think I might have given you my WhatsApp number when we were coordinating this. So if something comes up, give me some grace because sometimes I forget to respond as quickly, but I promise I'll get back to you eventually. And feel free to reach out whenever. Best of luck with everything.
Thank you so much, Jenny. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
All right, very cool. So what do you think about this one? Do you think she answered the questions fully? What do you think about the length? Let's look at form first.
Well, I think it was a really well-handled interview because Margaret not only talked about her interests, but she connects her interests with the university courses, the university things that she likes and why she is interested in the university because of what have she done. What she have done, sorry.
She has done, exactly. What else?
Yeah, I think all of her responses were great. And she had she adapted it to speak to a student. It was a slightly different style, but still according to the situation. And I'm not sure about the background. Is it okay, to use that kind of background? Because I think it was related to engineering, but I'm not sure if it was a little distracting. I just have that question.
Sure. Yeah, I understand. And I think that can be, it's like what color to wear. What do? It's the first impression it only happens once and you don't want to mess it up. But when we were talking about the background, the conclusion was that it was okay. It was pretty, it looked academic. It was rather neutral. But if neutral, the more neutral, maybe you feel the most comfortable. So maybe doing the blur can be the most comfortable. But I don't think you need to get caught up on that so much, because you can get into like a loop and start overthinking everything. As long as it's an appropriate background that is not distracting, like the psychedelic one that we saw, I think that should be okay. All right. Andy, what do you think? Anything you want to talk about the answers that you noticed?
Yeah, I think they get better by time, like they get improved each time. And for example, in this case, the answers were a bit long, but they were rich in content. So I think they were about right regarding the length.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think some of the highlights that I think you should take away as students is that she explained, again, she had a real clear idea of why she wanted to study in the US and at this school. Oh no. Okay, remember to always ask a question, prepare a question to ask your interviewer, and also remember to be calm. You know, you'll do great in your interview.